side. Brian Baldinger joins us this morning. Baldy, thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you guys. Thanks.
Okay, I mean, you were a veteran in the league long time. Browns are starting out with Joe Flacco. They got two pups behind him. It's only week 3, but I got a lot of people going, guys, come on, we're wasting our time. We're not going anywhere. It's time to play the kids. How would be a problem if we played Dylan Gabriel now? Would it be a disaster? Are we wasting time with Joe Flacco? Tell me.
Well, I mean, are they gonna catch the ball from Dylan Sampson or Dylan Gabriel? I mean, they can't catch it from Joe Flacco. They would have beaten Cincinnati easily if they didn't drop the ball. They dropped the ball last week. So, I mean, if the receivers don't catch the ball, it doesn't matter who's going to throw it. So, I mean, I think they'd be 1-1 right now if they could catch, if they could kick. You know, some of the basics of playing football, and they couldn't do that week 1 against Cincinnati. You know, Dylan Sampson looks like he's the only guy that can catch it every time they throw it to him. So I don't think it makes a difference right now.
What about from any of the film you've looked at? Because Jerry Jeudy thinks people just aren't looking at the film. He says he's getting open, but the wide receiver room as a whole, do you think they're having issues running routes?
Well, they didn't catch a ball. The wide receivers didn't catch a ball until 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. So, and he caught one for 26 yards, you know, when that happened. That went 19 plays without completing a pass to a wide receiver. I do think it's part of the issue is that they do have to get open better, but, you know, Cedric Tillman isn't separating from anybody right now. Jerry Jeudy is still the best receiver, but he's dropped a lot of passes. I think he's dropped 3 passes in the first 2 games, and one of them was intercepted against Cincinnati. So, I mean, it's a combination. You know, if they're going to go out there and if your receivers can't win one-on-ones, then they're not a good receiver. And so that's what Baltimore did a great deal of the time on Sunday.
Brian Baldinger joining us on the show. Dylan Sampson, you mentioned him twice. You like Dylan Sampson that much?
Yeah, I do. We caught the touchdown pass last week from Gabriel. He caught every pass thrown to him week 1 against Cincinnati. You know, I like both backs. I like Quinshawn. I like Dylan. I think that's the future now. You could say, all right, well, if you're going to future is Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger and Dylan Sampson and Quinshawn Judkins, why not go with the quarterback? I mean, there's a legitimate argument to all of that, but I think Joe is playing. I mean, he's seeing the field well, and you know, you got 2 tackles out there that are struggling right now. I don't know what DeJuan's situation is. He's on and off the field. Cornelius Lucas has been a backup his whole life over there at right tackle. I mean, you know, I don't know if the protection is going to get better with any of the rookie quarterbacks back there.
Obviously, the Browns, we have had the luxury of having excellent offensive line play for, man, it seems like over a decade. But guys are aging. You know, Wyatt Teller is getting up there. Batonio is retiring after this year. Conklin probably retiring after this year. Is it just a matter of, even though we've got the names up there, they just aren't what they were in their prime? Is that what you might be noticing?
A little bit. I mean, I think everybody slows down at some point. Joe's been a great player in this league, and you know, I mean, just a great player. Period. But yeah, I think some of that. But Baltimore heated them up pretty good. He got after. You know, I mean, Roquan Smith's coming on blitzes. The backs can't block him. So I don't care what back is in there; they couldn't block him. And you know, he created a lot of havoc on Sunday. I imagine you're going to see the same thing this week. So, I mean, I like Dylan Sampson, but, you know, he's not going to block Roquan Smith coming in a full-speed blitz. So it's not just the offense line, it's the backs as well.
I wanted to ask you about that. We're talking to Brian Baldinger, so who better to ask about stuff like this when it comes to nitty-gritty football? They draft Sampson. We know, you know, he's not exactly the biggest guy in the world, but he's supposed to be a third down back. But if he can't block guys in those situations, is that something that just he's young, so he's going to have problems with that? Or is that something you can certainly pick up over time with more experience?
No, I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, everything can be learned. And so, you know, most backs don't get an opportunity to do a lot of protection in college. And so I think that's part of it. But, you know, you don't get a chance to really practice that much at full speed. You know, I would imagine that at Tennessee, he didn't do a great deal of it. Most backs don't. So it's just something that he's got to, if he wants to be on the field on third downs, and I know he does, and I think he's going to be a good player. But, you know, protection is pretty pretty important at that point, because otherwise, the guys that are supposed to be in coverage on him are just going to blitz. And so he blitzed the back. It's just a bob call, and he's got to get used to it.
Brian Baldinger joining us, Odyssey NFL Insider. Follow him on Twitter at BaldyNFL. How soon, when would be an appropriate time to play because, you said, well, are they going to catch for Dylan Gabriel because they didn't catch for Joe Flacco? When would be an appropriate time where you go, all right, fine, we got to play the rookies?
I don't know. I don't know if there's an appropriate time. You got to play your best players. You got to try to win every game. It's 0-2. They should be 1-1. It's not. I mean, I wouldn't even think about making a switch. I mean, it was nice that Dylan came in there and threw a pass, touchdown pass to, mop-up duty last week. But I don't know when they're playing the Green Bay Packers right now. They're coming in with maybe the best team in the whole, NFC. It's a great test. I mean, the way they're playing defense right now, if they could shut Green Bay down and make it a game or win the game, I mean, that changes everything. Flacco's your guy. But if they keep losing games, at some point you're going to play the rookie and see what they have. But it's way too early. It's only September.
There's been some thought that, with the league and the too high safety thing, that maybe it's going to make life so much tougher on the Browns offense with Joe Flacco. He's obviously not somebody who has a threat to run. And we haven't really seen him launching the deep balls like earlier in his career or even during the run a couple of years ago when they went to the playoffs. So what are you seeing from, schematically with how defenses are not just going up against the Browns, but everybody, and what can you do with a kind of a statue quarterback to try to beat those defenses?
Well, I don't think Joe's a statue. I mean, he's moving them out there, and he's run for first downs, and he's extending plays. I think he's anything but a statue. I don't think Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders runs any better than Joe. So I don't agree with that. In fact, I think Joe looks faster now than he did when he was a rookie in 2008. But they got to run the ball better. I mean, period. Judkins had the one big run last week. Otherwise, they're averaging about 3 yards a carry. So, everything in this offense is going to be based off, some sort of a run action. And so they got to run it better up front. And, they got to have better blocking from across the board. I haven't seen Joe Bitonio pull like I thought I was going to see him pull in a lot of power plays. Maybe they need to get back to that. The last thing you want to do in this game against Green Bay is, be forced to drop back to throw with Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary coming off the edge against the tackles that are going to line up on Sunday. So, I mean, it's going to be an emphasis this week, and hopefully they run the ball a lot better than what they've shown so far.
Brian Baldinger joining us here. Brian, you look at the defense, and I know they gave up 41 points last week, but it wasn't, all defense, a lot off special teams, turnovers, things like that. How do you keep a team together when one side of the ball is struggling so much and the other side of the ball, it's only been a couple weeks, they've been playing at a nearly elite level?
Well, I mean, Jim Schwartz is a Super Bowl winning coach. Like, he knows what he's doing, and those guys have responded to him. Defense is playing great, and you can't ask anything more. I mean, whether it's run defense, pass defense. Look, at some point, if it continues like this, they will wear down, and they might not play at the same fever that they have played. But, you got two rookies out there, Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger. They're playing great. And they don't know any different. Their job is to get off the field, stop the run. They've been doing all of that. I mean, they look like two great picks at this point. Miles is a freak. I think he just wants to put quarterbacks in the graveyard. Wants to, So I don't think they're in danger of that yet. But at some point, the offense has to carry their load as well. So I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be any sort of a drop because the offense isn't performing well, but I'm not worried about it right now. I think Jim Schwartz has those guys playing great.
Just a few questions from around the league. What do you think of the wild outcomes when it comes to the kicking game and the new rules and how it seems to be throwing field position off? Is this something that you like? Do you like the entertainment factor of it, or do you think we're getting a little too far away from football?
Well, they wanted to return to the game, and the return is in the game. And so, teams are getting great starting field position. It really changes the way you call offense if you're at the 30, the 35, the 40-yard line. But, the teams that are, kicking it and putting in play and are covering kicks well, I think that's good for football because I think kickoff coverage is an extension of defense. Most of those guys covering the kicks are defensive players or backups that want to get on the field and play, and you're seeing great coverage around the league where teams, can't get the ball to the 20-yard line. So I think it's been really good for all the way around, whether you're great at kickoff coverage or, you can't quite put the ball where you want to put it and they're getting the ball at the 35-yard line. There's consequences. So I like the way it's going right now.
Baldy, the Fox broadcast seemed over the tush push last week. After all these years, we haven't really seen the injuries that people thought would happen, but could it be at risk just based on watchability, the inability to officiate it? Guys are lining up off sides, guys are moving early, and no one knows where the hell the football is.
Well, I haven't seen an injury yet on the tush push. All right, so anybody who wants to make that as part of their argument to can it, well, I don't see one. I haven't seen one. So, and that's 3 years of the Eagles doing this. I see other teams doing versions of the tush push. Like, that's just the Philadelphia Eagles, but, maybe Kansas City should be better on defense on first down and not allowing it to get to 3rd and 1 the way they did, throughout the game. So I don't have a problem with the play. Other teams have tried it. They're not as good at it. The Eagles only really run it to the left. And maybe there's a reason why they only run it to the left. They've got a great left guard in Landon Dickerson and a great left tackle in Jordan Mailata. Other teams don't have that. Cleveland doesn't have that. If other teams had that type of power and run blocking ability, maybe more teams would use the tush push.
Travis Hunter, Lima, you're concerned about Travis Hunter. I don't want to ask the question. You had a perfect question to ask. Go ahead.
I notice already people are wondering, is he a little distracted, having to play at a high level, 2 different positions? They got the snaps up more this week, but, in the end, he just really hasn't been a dynamic player on either side. It's only 2 games, obviously, but is this something sustainable?
He hasn't had the big play yet on offense, and he hasn't done much outside of, tackling a catch or 2 in the first 2 games. He hasn't had much of an impact. Jacksonville really should have won the game the other day if they could catch the ball as well. The star wide receiver is in a funk, and but they've done a lot of good things as an organization. They're running the ball better than they ever have over the last couple of years. And they got a rookie running back in Bayshul Tootin, who's really has been the rookie star right now for them. But they're playing really good football. They should have beaten Cincinnati. That game was in the bag. They just couldn't finish it. But I think there's going to be a time when Travis Hunter explodes onto the scene. I haven't seen much defensively from him yet, and that's where I'm kind of curious if he's really going to be a 2-down player. He's got to show up on defense and make something happen out there, and he hasn't been able to do that so far.
Kenny, you going to have the guts to ask him?
What? I'm not asking him the question.
Do it?
No, you ask him the question. I'm done. So you ask him the question.
Is Baker Mayfield elite?
Yeah, he's elite. You watch those 2 comebacks, he's just engineered. 11 plays, 80 yards. He scrambles on 4th and 10 to get 15 yards and does a flip at the end of the play. There's only 9 other guys in the history of the game that did what Baker Mayfield did last year, which was throw for over 4,500 yards and over 40 touchdowns. Only 9 other guys. We all know great quarterbacks. Only 9 other guys that did what Baker's done. He's on the same pace this year, and he's doing it behind an offensive line that doesn't have his left tackle, lost the right tackle. The left guard is playing center. The right guard is now hurt. Nobody wants to talk about any of that, but Baker covers for all of it.
All right, that wasn't.
Kenny wanted him out of town.
No, that's
amazing.
Yeah, no, you wanted him out of town, and you wanted Deshaun Watson. Let me ask you this question because this is a real question to ask, Brian. Would Baker Mayfield be this version of Baker Mayfield had he still be with the Browns?
I don't think so. I think the changes that he had to go through to Carolina to the Rams, I think all those things were necessary. But he got to a really stable place with an organization that has stability. They've got a great general manager that has drafted fantastic. They got a head coach who's steady. Baker's done this with 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 years. It doesn't seem to make much difference. But the organization around him believes in him, has committed to him. He's got great receivers. He's got the best left tackle in football when he's healthy. there's a lot of good pieces there with him.
Brian Baldinger. Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on social media in general. He has a great video that he posted about 11, 12 hours ago of Myles Garrett. Compares him to an NFL legend pass rusher. You got to go find it to find out what pass rusher Myles Garrett has. Right, there you go. See, that's a tease. I teased him for you, Brian. There you go, my friend.
That's a good tease. I like that.
Follow him on social media at Baldy NFL. Brian, thank you very much for the time. All the best.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. Anytime.
Brian Baldinger, NFL insider from Odyssey. That was Brian Baldinger. He's host of the Best Football Show. Insider Calls brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
How about
I'm not doing any more bacon.
No, we don't have to.
We're done.
But
I'm done.
He basically just told you it doesn't matter who your quarterback is if your receivers are not catching and your offensive line is not blocking and you can't run the football. He's basically telling you it doesn't matter. You can go to Dylan Gabriel all you want.
This is what I did, and this is what I tried to tell you on Tuesday, and no one on hell wanted to listen to me. And here I got a guy who's a veteran. And how do I know these? Because I listen to guys like Brian. That's how I know it. It wasn't like I didn't play football at a high level, so how do I know? I listen to guys like Brian. And if you put Dylan Gabriel, like, Dylan needs to go out there and get in the first half. I go, no. He's going to get killed out there. That's not going to make this situation better. We need a quarterback who can run. Okay, yeah, he can run for his life, but I don't know if he's going to actually complete anything.